What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn. We're on Flip with Rick. Today, we're talking about how to do wholesaling without doing that dreaded cold calling. My name is Rick Ginn. I've been wholesaling for going on 24 years. And this channel, we share everything we can about wholesaling. Today, we're talking about to those people who go, man, I just hate cold calling with a passion. Number one, admit it. I've always been on the record. I have never been a cold call type of person. Number one, I take too long. I spend way too much time with the people on the phone. And number three, my ADHD takes me over. If that is you, today's live stream is to give you options, because the beautiful thing about wholesaling is there's so many ways to do it. But you have to understand the fundamentals of wholesaling, because you can get spun. And I'm going to teach you the fundamentals, how to derive any type of leads that you want. And if you have the fundamentals, you can explore any avenue if you want. If you don't understand the fundamentals, you are going to spend a lot of money and you're not going to get a very good return on your investment. So if you understand how to do it, I want to take this live stream and show you your options. That's right. You have options. It's people trying to shove cold calling down your mouth. Don't get me wrong. I love cold calling. And if you're completely broke and you have no money and it's your only alternative, go for it. I don't have a problem. But there should be a means to end. So you can use today's live stream in one of two ways. Number one, Rick, I never want to make one cold call. I'm just getting started in wholesaling. I'm going to give you options. Or you fall in the category two, which a lot of you do, is I'm going to use cold calling to get my first, second, or maybe third deal. And then I want to take some of those monies and I want to have somebody else do it for me, or maybe spend it in another category. We'll go over all that today and figure out the best way to do it. But guys, listen, no matter what you do, you're in the right place when we talk about wholesaling. If you want to connect with me, you guys know my son, Zach. Number one, you have the comments. Introduce yourselves. Let us know what market you're in. For God's sakes, make a wholesaling friend. This is the place to do it. I'm going to shock you, but we only talk about wholesaling here. So that's the main thing. I love wholesaling. I don't understand people who say wholesaling it's a stepping stone. No. It is a foundation. And once you have a strong foundation, you can work your way up the real estate pyramid. But if you don't have a strong foundation, you're going to pay the most for leads. You're going to pay the most for your properties. And you're always going to be under my control, because if you understand wholesaling, you have a massive competitive advantage. And what I'd like to do today, if we have a little bit of time, I want to take some live calls. We'll do a mastermind. It's got to be about wholesaling, guys. I don't want to waste time, because I'm trying to help out as many people as possible. And let's just put it to practice. So without further ado, let me get into it. If you are brand new to this channel, do me a favor, make sure you jump over and take advantage of the 100% free course me and Zach offer everybody. I put it out over 5 years ago. I was told I would never, ever be able to survive. I could never do it. And here I am 5 years later. It's right there. Just go over to freewholesaling.com. It is a place that you can go. Number one, it's safe. You're not going to get smacked over the head with a credit card. I know it's shocking. Number two, if you want a complete tutorial from start to finish on how to get your first wholesale deal, how to make your first 10 grand, all the way up to your first $100,000, we don't hold anything back in it. People are like, why do you do it? Number one, I want to create as many success stories in wholesaling. I'm not just a niche guy who does creative financing. Wholesaling, to my job, is to bring people in and let them understand the value of wholesaling. Because if you can figure this out, your entrepreneurial blood will boil, and I'll show you how to make a ton of money while helping out a ton of people. So freewholesaling.com, this is where you go. It's guru safe. You're fine. And if you're a self-starter, you understand the value of hard work and you apply exactly what me and Zach tell you, it's very hard to fail. Now, if you take this knowledge and pick it apart and try to adapt it to your lifestyle, which, let's be brutally honest, probably not working out financially, then it's not going to work. You have to succumb. You got to let your ego go, and you're going to have to change ways you do stuff. It's going to make you uncomfortable, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. So guys, as usual, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I always remind you at the end, I'm going to do it in the beginning, is the best way you can pay me and Zach a compliment. So let me know in the comments, who who has like the ultimate fear of like cold calling, or who's got like a horror cold calling story? I would love to hear from you, and it would be fun to do this. So I do read through the comments with my ADHD. It sometimes distracts me, but I do pick away. Um, uh, I mean, I see all your comments, so I'm reading it so I can. The beauty is doing a live stream is I can get you real-time data fast and I can get your feedback. So I do appreciate the comments, even the negative ones. I just don't want whiners. If you want to cry and throw a temper tantrum, it's the fastest way to get kicked out of here because we don't really figure out anything. So, guys, why don't we do this? Put in the comments of your, just give me your raw emotions when you hear cold calling. And you know what? It can relate to wholesaling. I've actually done it in other businesses. This is why I always hated cold calling, because I had a preset fear with it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The fear was stupid because if I did cold calling back in 2003, I would have been a kingpin of wholesaling. But I didn't. I didn't want to do it. Honestly, the reason I didn't do it, I had a fear inside of being rejected. And I had to go through that entire beginner phase and take my first year to understand how bad I was going to get my butt kicked. So I'm looking at all the comments on like who's done what with that. And the funny thing is you look at the comments, some people just love cold calling. Others like, oh my God, I dread it. It's the worst thing in the world. And that's how I kind of feel. It's not that I dread it. I just don't have the attention. I don't have the focus. And honestly, the hardest part, in my opinion, when it comes to cold calling is the disqualification period. But here's what we're going to do today. We're not going to talk about cold calling. We're going to talk about every other way you can get a deal in wholesaling outside of cold calling. Because if Rick did it, that means you can do it, but you're going to have to put in some work. Now, the reason why cold calling is so popular, it's, in my opinion, the fastest way to connect with a motivated seller in the most efficient means possible. You can do this at home in your own PJs, though I strongly recommend you getting fully dressed, and reaching hundreds and hundreds of people a day. Your job is to find the ones that actually want to connect with you and actually have interest in selling the property. And most importantly is make sure they need to sell. And it's exhausting. Number two, if you don't have experience cold calling, then you have to learn the ins and outs of cold calling. You got to skip trace the data. Hopefully you have an X Leads account. And then you got to figure out whose phone number it is. And you got to figure out, should I call them or should, like a lot of you guys freak out. Oh my God, they're on the DNC. Listen, when you're getting started, just call, because we are not selling anything over the phone. So there's a recent court case on it. I'm just saying, guys, reason why cold calling is so popular, if you don't have a lot of money and you have time, honestly, it's one of the most efficient way. I never said it's going to be easy. In fact, it is one of the most boring, time-sucking tasks you can do. So the next phase is some of you guys go, well, I'm going to hire my own VA to do cold calling. And my question to you is always, when you do that, what experience do you have cold calling and how are you going to lead that VA to success? And most people go, I don't know, Rick. And you want to know why that doesn't work out. I am so anti-hiring a VA just to do cold calling unless you're extremely experienced in it, because you're going to have to spend at least 3 months training them. You're going to have to provide great quality leads. And then you're going to have to find out how to push them to fill your inbox with quality leads. Because if you push them too hard, they just give you crappy leads. And most VAs, my experience and doing this for so long, most of you guys work from 1 to 3 months with them. And then the leads start out strong. And then you tell them, listen, we need better high quality leads. They cut the leads back. And then they get unmotivated and they start taking on other clients. And they just keep jumping client to wholesaler to wholesaler to wholesaler. And you want to know why it doesn't work out. The training alone will kill you on cold calling. So if you're one of those self-starters and you rip through lists, God bless you. Keep doing it. And I'm going to give you other alternatives. If you are here because I don't want to do cold calling, and I'm just going to admit it, if you're willing to do work and probably spend a little bit of money, you can bypass cold calling. But you're still going to have to learn the fundamentals of wholesaling. Does everybody understand that? So, and I agree. Like I got people put up here, I don't want to get cussed out. I don't want to get chewed out. Listen, you're getting cussed out and chewed out if you cold call or not. So if that's your biggest fear, you just get rejected a lot more. on cold calling. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I didn't like it. But we have to find the best way possible. So today we're going to talk about everything about cold calling, and I'll get your feedback, guys. And then if you have a question about cold calling or maybe a better way to do it, I'm actually just going to share it to you today. I'm going to give you my recommendation. Just because you don't want to cold call doesn't mean it's not an effective strategy. So we'll go about ways to do that. So do me a favor, make sure if you got a question, put it in the comment section. And then what I'm going to do here shortly is I will share a link. If you guys want to hop on and talk, I feel like I haven't done this in a while, but what I'm going to do is so we don't get distracted, I don't have to stare at like all your mug shots while we do this. Let's get through the teaching part. Let's give you alternatives, and let's find a way to do wholesaling without having to pick up that damn phone and prospect through cold calling. Now, most of you, okay, I'm starring a bunch of questions to answer. So if you put in a question, I don't answer right away. It's just put it in there and I will get through it. So, so let's jump into the learning section on it, and then I will share the best way to deal with this. So number one, I'm going to give you the easiest one right off the bat because I like to just hand out freebies and let you know. So number one, my first recommendation, if you don't want to cold call and you've made that decision, which I respect completely, for God's sakes, do me a favor. Do not go out and try to independently hire your own VA to cold call for you, especially if you don't have experience and you've never done a deal before. Why? Because you're just going to smoke through that money. So on average, a VA is going to cost you what, $6, $8 an hour. Let's just call it $7. Probably a good one. 40 hours a week. That's 280 times 4. You're probably going to spend between $1,000 and $1,200. And honestly, that's not a bad deal. Here's the challenge, guys. You don't know how to train them. You don't know how to like run the KPIs for them. You have no idea if they're actually doing what they say they're doing. And all you are is relying on the VA's feedback. And this is a pathway to disaster, because inevitably, if you give them 90 days, and by the way, when you hire a VA, especially for an outbound marketing activity like this, if you don't give them 3 months, you never even gave them a shot to begin with. These are not miracle workers. They don't pull the list for you. You're in charge of your marketing data. And the bottom line is you're going to spend the money to get them out there. But what you guys fail to forget, and by the way, I've done this, so I'm not a hypocrite, is you don't know how to train them. You don't know how to lead them. You don't know how to motivate them. And they are so scared of you firing them, they're going to tell you anything or fill your inbox up with anything to buy more time. And most VAs like, just give me another week, give me another month, give me another 3 months. And most of you run out of gas within 90 days. Usually the second month, most of you give up. And what happens if I go 90 days? I basically give up, whatever, $3,500. I don't have any leads to really produce to generate cash to pay off this debt of what I did. And I have nowhere to go. And then you're going to talk about hiring another VA. Guys, don't do it. And think about this. If you're cold calling yourself, how much can you make at work per hour or make an overtime to do it? What I prefer you to do is get that overtime. I know you hate your job. Don't shoot the messenger, but utilize the income you have. If you can gain some overtime, work a few extra hours, and find that extra $500 to $1,000 so you can go pay someone to do it. Here's the key, guys. I don't want you hiring your own VA. So there's entire companies and structures out there that will work with you that have killer cold callers. It's all they do. They have a manager. They have to go into an office. They're supervised. They have like 10 plus line dialers, sometimes a lot more. They're extremely efficient. If you want to use like the cheapest service out there, good luck. And they should have the ability to upload these leads into your CRM. Hopefully you're using XLeads. That's the easiest way. And they can connect to the form and do that. Because the expectation is how many leads you expect them to go through. I've watched somebody recently, they gave them 10,000 leads, which is a reasonable full-time amount of leads to do 40 hours a week. And they came back and I don't think they got through 3,500 leads. You tell me what they're doing. They're manually dialing. They're lying about what their capabilities are. And I don't want you to be stuck in that position. So if you understand that, the easiest way to do this, guys, is just stop calling them on, stop hiring your own VAs. I've honestly, maybe 1 out of 25 works out. And usually you got to have some experience. So what I'd like you to do is there's cold call centers. There's tons of them out there. To be honest with you, we recommend one that we use through our M2M program. If you want to check it out, because we've pre-negotiated a rate and we've trained them how to upload to the X leads, and we get like a killer rate, like much lower than you're ever going to get out there. And here's the best part is you don't do the training. We just help you dial in your leads and give you expectations of what they should be hitting. And they have a portal where they'll tell you how many leads, how many calls were made, and you get all that data. If you don't get that, don't pay for these services. And by the way, here's a disclosure. If you're going to work with a cold call company, this is my advice from a 24-year wholesaler. Get the dang MP3. Why? Number one, if you understand the tone of your seller, it makes it so much easier to transition to go, hey, I'm the owner of the company. I know Sue called you, and they connect you with it. Number two, it also provides you a layer of protection against compliancy issues, particularly TCPA. Because if you're having somebody calling on behalf of your company and you have a recorded voice line, number one, it protects you from making your own marketing calls. In the eyes of legislation, everything like that, you making calls, having a direct employee you pay, they're your leads. You're not buying them from somebody else. You're having a service and having a subcontracted employee do it for you on behalf of your company, and you have a recorded line for it. Number two, it also verifies the authenticity of the lead, the date it was derived, what happened in the conversation, and you can pick up all sorts of information. There's a reason why most PPL companies will not provide you the MP3, because then they'd have to expose their hand on how many people they sold it to you. What they do is they provide you a transcript. Transcript's still better than nothing, but nothing beats the power of the voice. And anyone who tells you, I can never give you the MP3, hasn't wholesaled very long, because the inflection of someone's voice and what they do. Remember, if I'm not in front of a seller, give me a recording. I can tell if it was a man, a woman. I can tell the approximate age. I can create urgency. Are they motivated or not? And even if they're slightly motivated again, I'm going to call, and I'm going to use that data as feedback to my cold caller to provide me the best leads possible. So having that MP3 through a cold call center that represents you, you derive your own marketing leads. It's great. So Rick, what's the cost? How much? On average, a cold call center is going to cost you about $1,000. Rick, you just told me I could do $1,000 by myself. Yeah, you don't have to do the training. They handle all the technology and they upload it into your X Leads account or whatever CRM you want to use. You spend your time vetting and qualifying these sellers and making offers. What you save is, I'm not training, I'm not putting up with attitude, I'm not hiring and firing, I'm not doing these ridiculous reviews, I'm not on Upwork trying to find somebody. This is what needs to go down. And here's the cool part is that person is assigned to you. And once you become efficient, on average, they can approximately go through 10 to 12,000 leads per month. You need to get the best data humanly possible to them. The best list. Your job should be curating the best motivated seller leads and give them the best odds. And knowing one cold caller is approximately 10,000, 12,000 maybe if you have a good one. And remember, on average, that should deliver from 40 to 55 leads a month in your inbox. Now, remember, a lot of variables go into it. This is why we have the Marketing to Millions program, m2m.com, because we teach you various techniques on how to structure these marketing and get the best list possible. And then here's the crazy part. What if you get a deal or two off of that and you're like, man, I was able to work my full-time job and do that, which is what I did when I started out wholesaling. I didn't have an option of a cold call center. And then I went through and I go, what if I could do 2 cold callers and maybe get 80 to 90 leads a month, and you get a discounted rate, and maybe I'm paying about $1,900 a month. Remember, the deal should pay for this cold caller. I want you to use any type of overtime you can at work. Just stick it to your boss, have them work through it. This is how I got in wholesaling. I had way too much on the line. I had a mortgage. I had 2 little children to feed. I could not fail. So I just used my current job. I worked extra hours. I got sales bonuses, and I use this to leverage other people to help me get where I want. The difference is hiring a VA on your own. I'm just telling you, I've watched it over. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And here's the crazy part. Do you know there's more VAs out there than there are wholesalers? And guys, the advent of AI, if you go to the Philippines, they have like 60% unemployment because of AI. So you're going to get crazy offers going forward with it. And I just want to let you know, I think you're better off just using a cold call center. If you want to see who we recommend, go to joinm2m.com. We show it all. We share it in our school groups. If you're with us, we give you a preferred way to do it. But like, if you don't even go with the companies we recommend or something like that, find someone that will give you an MP3 file. If they won't give you an MP3 file, don't, like, that's all you need to know. I've always, for 24 years, have got a recorded copy of someone's voice. And back in the old days, I used to hit a tape recorder when I talked to people. Or if I had somebody deriving leads for me, I go, hey, how was their tone and their sound? Let me ask you, do you feel more confident when you hear the MP3 recording? I feel I have protection. I feel like I'm in compliance. I am so certain that lead is only for my company. Did you know a lot of like PPL and even some of the cold call centers that derive leads, they like to use a generic company name, like Prime Home Buyers. And they sell all the leads to everyone like that. So you already know the lead's being sold multiple times over. So if you want to overcome that and you like cold calling, but you don't want to do it, and you're like, Rick, I'm telling you, the cold call center is one of the best ways you can do it. On average, you're looking about $1,000 a month. So how do I do that, Rick? Just go out and get some extra work, some overtime. Because if you have to do the cold calling, let's put the foot on the let's put the shoe on the other foot. If you make $20 an hour, which is not the end of the world, think about this. $20 an hour, 40 hours, $20 an hour. So if you cold call full time, say you can earn $20 an hour for 40 hours a week, that's 800 times 4. That's $3,200 a month you are giving up. So I want you to trade your time for cold call center because you get a better rate of return. And here's the thing is, I get it. You don't want to do the overtime. You don't want to work the weekend shift. You don't work night shift. I've always told you you're going to have to make a sacrifice in wholesaling. And if you're not going to make the sacrifice, don't come complaining to me. You're going to have to do something different. And I'm going to, full disclosure, cold calling is probably one of the most efficient ways if you can survive getting through it. So if you want to take on this approach and you've decided like, Rick, I don't want to freaking make the phone calls, then use a cold call center. Either work with us, work with another company, make sure they provide you an MP3 file. It makes sure your deal is exclusive. It makes sure you're compliant, that you're deriving your own leads for your own company on your behalf. And you can gauge motivation and you call on every one of them that you get one forwarded to you. Why? Because they're trained to find anyone who is interested in selling and has slight motivation. Your job is to move on from there and qualify them. And if you consistently do this, you have your inbox full, as opposed to you making all the phone calls, doing that 40 hours a week, then trying to do acquisitions. And then God forbid, if you have a full-time job, there's no way in hell you can do it. So if we understand that, we can do that. So if you need some help with it, check out programs like M2M like that. But for God's sakes, please don't try to do cold calling on your own, because it has probably the highest failure rate I've seen in the business. And I think it accounts for more people quitting wholesaling than any other way. That's why we're kind of doing this live stream. So everybody understand, if you outsource that, if you have a quality cold call center, all you have to do are pay like the fees. And honestly, if you're making at least $20 or more an hour and you can get extra income, trade your time to leverage other people to do crap you don't want to do. Now, here's the cool part. You don't have to do it forever. Just take your time and get through it and you'll be fine with it. So, okay. Next one. I'm not going to go too deep in this, but texting, guys. Texting's wonderful. You got to get through the dreaded A2P. I'm not going to give a entire live stream on A2P because it almost takes Batman behind me to solve this. But here's the really cool part. If you have an X Leads account, we will actually do a live Zoom with you and help you set up your A2P. Now, it's a short Zoom, 15 minutes, and you've got to get all your ducks in a row because we have to help a lot of people. And guys, this costs us $100 just to do that for you. There's no other company that does this for you. Why? Because we know it's one of the most frustrating things you have to do. So you'll have to survive A2P. Yes, you'll have to set up a company and that you have to set up a phone number and you have to set up a website. These are not my rules. They're not Zach's rules. It's the compliancy issue through Twilio to make sure that we can get through to these large phone carriers. It's the rules. You have to figure out opt-out language. But once again, using software like X Leads helps you navigate through all this stuff. There's no shortcut around it. Once you get it set up after that, one of the biggest problems we have, especially with people with the X Leads account, people want to go crazy on texting. And there's rules to texting, and you have to season your account. So you have to start out with a small amount of text. I'm not even, it's under 200, I believe 100, 150. And then what it does is it keeps doubling until you build it up. Try to send out 5,000 texts right after you get A2P compliant. You're going to get a warning. The next one, you're going to get suspended. The third one, you're going to lose your account. It's that simple. They have set these systems in place to avoid the abuses. Now, if you don't want to go through it because you think it's too much of a pain in the ass, you need to know that going up front, because some of you get through the process and go, oh my God, that's so difficult. Get through the process and then you can send out 5,000 texts and your life becomes much easier. But you're going to have to go through an obstacle to get there. And some of you are just too lazy to do it. Oh my God, this is too much work. Once you get it set up and you get past that 30 days, you can drop that button and drop 5,000 texts. But you got to set it up correctly. You got to understand the difference between a landline and a mobile line. And it's just an education. The really cool thing about X Leads, it has so much to offer. There's so many different ways to go with it. Texting works. Now, texting is highly efficient. The one thing you've got to understand about texting is the one thing the one thing you have to, I'm reading here because it's like I can't do two things at once. Got it. God, what was I going to say on that? See, now I lost my train of thought. You see what ADHD can do to you? Guys, okay, now I remember it. Now it just came back like a bolt of lightning. Texting is, some of you people are raised on texting. Now, I got a little warning on you this. Texting is a outbound marketing technique with the goal of getting inbound results. Texting is never meant to be a one-stop shop where you vet sellers, vet buyers, you underwrite deals, and then you send over contracts and get them done. And I constantly have people saying, I've tried to close a deal via text. I know we're in 2026, but I'm telling you, there is no way to establish trust through a text. So if we know all sellers want two things, they want to know they can trust you, which you got to earn it by building rapport. And then you have to find a solution and solve their problem. You're going to have to talk to them. So the goal of a text or an SMS is to connect with the seller. Now, with the beauty of this, you can be a single operator like I used to be, and you can send out thousands of texts and snap your fingers. Now, cold calling, you've got to either go through it manually, 3-line dialer, 7-line dialer, 10-dialer, or use a cold call center. It's going to take time. And it can take up to a month to get it done, unless you want to like really turn it up and get 4 cold callers. Or on texting, I can drop 2,500, 3,000 texts. I can usually get sort of like a 1% slight interest in it. And then based on that, then my job is, once I have a response to it that's not negative, and you'll get a lot of negative ones. And guys, the only difference between cold calling and texting is someone's chewing you out verbally, and on a text, they're chewing out you, they're typing it to you like a keyboard warrior. But once I have that engagement, number one, you have full permission to call them. Once they respond to your text, that's it. Unless they respond opt out, it's fair game. There is no laws you're breaking. In fact, you're proving your point when they call you. I've never understand when people call me back either on like a direct mail or an SMS or even a cold call, because once you call back, you kind of have a proof that, hey, you called me. They're going to go, well, hey, I called you. So when it comes to a text and they go, yeah, I'd like to talk, sky's the limit. And honestly, they're very, very valuable leads. Now you can use them in your follow-up system inside of X Leads, but honestly, I like to call them. And you got to switch from text and get them on the phone. I have people all the time. I just keep texting them, like, pick up the phone and call them, for God's sakes. You are never going to convert deals via text. I've done one in my entire 24-year career because that's the only way the guy could communicate. And that's the rare exception. It was a disability. And we wind up working with a lawyer in the end. So I don't even think it really counts. So everybody understand that. You have to switch from text to phone. Because I keep seeing the younger generation, like, I'm just trying to close them by text. You're not going to be very effective at all. So remember, the whole point of the SMS texting campaign is to generate leads. And then once you generate a lead, it's your job to bug that seller. And I say the word bug with compassion until you get a result. Because you sit there and text back, you're never going to get anywhere. And by the way, when you text someone, they should be short and they should create curiosity. How much you offer me? I can offer you $169.5. You will never hear from that person again. I wish it was that easy, guys. I really wish it was that easy. It's not even close to being that easy. Okay, let me check questions because we got a bunch to get through here. We're going to get going. And guys, what I'm going to do, because I'm a very fair guy, we'll talk about that in a minute. I am going to put the link up and I'm going to save some time at the end, and first come, first serve. If you guys want to talk to me, want to talk about wholesaling, I make myself available to the public. I don't care what anybody says. So I'm going to throw that out there. I put it in there, first come, first serve. I put it in the comments. Okay, So I have somebody asking me right here, do you recommend cold calling over SMS blasting? It's a personal preference. If you can do both, because you've already skip traced the phone number, that's the most effective way to do it. But as I said, some of this stuff's like personal preference. They all work. Otherwise, we wouldn't even talking about them. So the next thing is, I want to talk about some ways you guys don't really think about marketing. And, we always talk about email. If you go through X Leads and set up your email correctly and go through all the setups, and for God's sakes, guys, if you want to run an effective email campaign, go get a legitimate email address. Gmail, AOL, Hotmail, Outlook are not legitimate email addresses. They scream problems. The reason why they don't work is because, number one, no one's going to take you seriously. Somebody emails me a Gmail outside of a personal contact for like formal business presentation, I will not give you the time of day, because if you can't afford a $90 email, I think it's $96 for the year through like GoDaddy to get an email address. Why is that important? Number one, just so you know, when you go through Gmail, you're automatically going to be flagged for spam. Everybody understand that? Number two, you go through Gmail, Outlook, you do not own that email address, and other people see all your information. So you have privacy issues. Let's not even talk about how much advertising is out there. You just piss off a lot of sellers. So if you want to be serious about an email marketing campaign, go get an email address. It's just an extension off whatever domain you want. And for God's sakes, if your name is out there for a domain, go take it right now, because someone else is going to take it. I promise you. So when we do that, the beauty of email, it's pretty simplistic. It's not complicated. And you can do the whole campaign. You can automate it with AI through X Leads. That's the beauty of it. But this is marketing when you go to bed. You can throw it out there. A lot of people read their emails in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning. And if I'm in California and say I'm marketing in North Carolina, it's a great way to do it. Why? Because you can email. So the one thing with cold calling you're limited is you really can't call past like 8 p.m. Let's say 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock, depending on where you are. So what can I do to market to people off hours to be highly effective? Email. Well, how can I use an email? The beauty in X Leads, we already pre-write templates for you to help you out. We also offer the EOG. We generate offers. We show you how to put offers in there using X Leads values. And we do it to stimulate a response from sellers. On average, if you follow up with an email of a prospect that turned into a lead, they came off of one of your lead sheets, off one of your government lists, whatever, and then they were interested and then they ghosted you or fell off, you would be shocked what an offer via email will get a response. On average, you can engage just about 10% of your leads with a follow-up email. I like to send emails late in the evening or even at night. That way they get it first thing in the morning. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person that I have somebody sort through my emails first thing in the morning and decide which is priority. Now, how you label that email, that's the best part of it, because you got to create curiosity. Have an offer for you. Cash offer, click here. Stuff like that, and you get it. But for God's sakes, guys, get rid of these commercial email addresses, the Gmails, the Hotmails, the AOL. If you cannot forward an email address, you probably should not. It's not a requirement, but if you're going to do email marketing, I'm going to tell you it's a flat out requirement. None of your mail is going to get through. And by the way, when you get an email address and it's brand new, say you got, Rick at homebuyerfast.com, you have to season that email address. What do you mean, Rick? Number one, send it to your family. Make sure they respond to it. Send it to some friends, and then try to get 20 or 30 emails out. Once that email starts getting clicked and they see it's not spam, it will actually go through to your clients. You guys have a horrendous connection rate on your email because I see the numbers every day. And most of you are just breaking the simple cardinal rules of just not having a professional email address. If you want to be in this business the long run and you want to do, listen, it's not required up front. I'm not here to have you spend money, but like once you do a few deals, for God's sakes, get a legitimate email address. It will do wonders for your business. I promise you. Everybody get that? One of the biggest problems you have on your email, the minute you get a new Gmail address or even existing one, it almost automatically goes to spam. Automatically goes to spam. So David says here, spam is not regulated on what time you send it. It's regulated on the frequencies of emails to send out and the seasonality, the seasoning of the email. So if you go get a brand new email address, even through GoDaddy or whatever, you want to season it. Try to get it 20 to 30 times back and forth, and it will get past the snuff test. If you get a brand new email address or you have like a Gmail or a Hotmail and you try to send out 1,000 emails, ain't one of them going to go through. I know it's terrible language, but it's true. Just make sure it doesn't have like a Gmail extension, Hotmail, AOL, Outlook, because those right off the bat, the system's going to flag them right off the bat. And you guys see what Gmail does just alone on how they sort through like social posts, social emails, promotional emails. They're getting really, really good at it. So it's imperative. You guys, a lot of you just skipped a step and you wonder why the results are dismal. It's painful. So, okay. So we're going to keep on moving through here. Some of the stuff you guys have heard before, but I want to deep dive in some of this other stuff. I'm going to do an easy one. Most of you guys overlook. Listen, Bandit signs still work. I have to do Bandit signs. They work, guys. They got me through a lot of tough times in wholesaling. Why? Here's all I did. I'd go out and I'd print. I would get 15, 20 blank signs. I'd take a big Sharpie marker from one of the big box stores. It's $2 or $3. 3 lines. It's this simple, guys. Sell your house today, any condition, any situation, and a big phone number on one side. That's your virtual phone number. And for God's sakes, answer the phone live. You'll be shocked how many people will call on that. And especially in 2026, inventory's climbing, interest rates are high, realtors aren't selling properties that have challenges. These people will find you. Find intersections where you can slow down enough. There's usually a stop sign or a red light where someone can take a picture with their phone. If you can't take a picture with your phone, it's never going to work. And then I want you to do what we call a guerrilla marketing tactic, where you take an area and you inundate it. Don't go and try to put 100 signs out. It doesn't work anymore. Put 10 or 15 signs out in a concentrated area, and they're like, man, this chick does some serious marketing. And some will get picked up, some will go away. Rick, what do I do when code enforcement calls me? Just be super nice. Kill people with kindness. But don't give up your information. And like, honestly, they're going to tell you you're going to write a ticket. I'm going to fine you. You can't fine or write someone a ticket that you can't find. And honestly, if they're going to go through and act like a motivated teller, just sit there and ask them 10 minutes of questions, because they all give up in a minute or two because it's beneath them. They don't want to do it. So I've been threatened out the world. To be honest with you, I'm not allowed to do bandit signs because I probably put out over 500,000 of them in my career. I've created entire departments. I created a monster when my son did it. And so the other way you guys do it is just digital bandit signs. And if you've never done digital bandit signs, just simply go over to freewholesaling.com and we show you how to do the whole thing. This is just posting on signs, using AI, wrapping graphics, being creative, and working groups you're organically connected with and make them work. It's that simple. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because it's really, really simple. Once again, bandit signs, physical and digital. If you don't know how to do it, do me a favor. Just jump over to freewholesaling.com. I'll share the whole thing. I'll actually put it on a scroller on the bottom and let everybody know. Because I'm tired of everybody trying to rip off everybody in wholesaling. All the information's out there. How you execute is up to you. I would like for you at least to read the manual and understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. Because if you understand that, you can understand how you can effectively consider, do I want a cold call or not? The whole point of this video is to give you options. So the next one, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to throw, actually, I'm going to wait on that one. Let's go to JVs. Guys, joint ventures are amazing. The best place I've seen to do it in zachdiscord.com, or go into our M2M group, which we do a lot of deals amongst each other. I partner up with people. And then we have our free group here at school, which I got some stuff to share on that to you before the end. We'll save the best for last. And there's a reason we're the largest school group in all of wholesaling. It's not just because it's free. We have a paid community too. But the idea is we want to help people get started. And I know what it's like not to have money and get something done. And I believe if you truly want to make it, there's no excuse. The only excuse is what you make up in your brain. Remember, if you divorce your excuse, you divorce your story, and you marry the truth, you can do anything you want in life. But you're going to have to come to a reckoning on it. So when I say that, joint ventures, the reason why I emphasize virtual marketing, because we are shifting. Listen, I'm always going to tell you to do local. There's no exceptions for you not to do your local market. You can always find a deal there. But some of you guys are in really, really saturated. This is what you guys say, but I'm in a saturated market. No, you just got a lot of bad wholesalers around you that don't know how to go deep with people. So what you can do is just, you do joint ventures. The reason why joint ventures are so powerful going into 2026 is because if you can find someone with just a problem, foreclosure, tax delinquency, code violation, probate, eviction list, whatever, if you can come up with a marketing lead, you can generate money. I used to bird dog when I started. What's bird dog? I would find someone to lead. I'd give it to someone more qualified than me. I get all excited. I would like watch every move he or she made, and they'd throw me like $500 or $1,000, and I was perfectly fine with it. I thought it was really cool. It was called earning and learning. But now we fast forward into 2026, and everybody wants 5 or 10 grand up front before they even share the slightest secret about wholesaling. I think that's ridiculous. The fundamentals of wholesaling will always be based on marketing. Your ability to marketing will directly reflect how successful you'll be in wholesaling. The more you try to avoid marketing, the worse you're going to be. Give me any name in this business. Tell me what their marketing strategy is, and I will tell you their level of success. And if you go, oh, Rick, well, I saw so-and-so and they called on like 20 some odd PPL leads. That's fine. Did they pay for them? Oh, well, that's why, there you go. That's the strategy. They're there to sell affiliates. That's just a dog and pony show. I'm not saying PPL doesn't work. It does not work for the average person at all. Why? Because you can't find one large wholesaler. Listen to me, not one large wholesaler that their entire strategy is PPL, because the return on the investment is not there. Why? Because you're breaking the fundamentals of wholesaling. He or she that understands and masters marketing will make the most money. If you have to rely on a third-party service to generate your leads, you're not in control anymore. All money, listen, marketing supersedes sales. Give me any business and I'll show it to you over and over. Because if you can't get people in the door, you can't get into people's house to make an offer. I don't care how great of a salesperson you are. And by the way, wholesaling has nothing to do with your ability to close and sell people. It is your ability to find people who need to sell their property. You gain their trust. You have to earn their trust. How? You build rapport. And then you have to listen to them carefully to find a solution. That process will never, ever change. It is human nature, and we have to understand it. So if I want to go out and do virtual marketing, I can go find low-hanging fruit all over the country, and I do it all day long. Today, I got 2 more checks in, just mailed in, never talked to anyone, did anything. One was 12,000, the other one was 9,000. Why? Because we have a program where leads just keep coming in. I have an entire business set up on this. And I want to thank you guys and everybody. We do it with our M2M group, because that is the power. How do I do that? I do JVs, guys. Why? I can't be an expert in every market. It's impossible. So if I have a deal in Texas, I need to sell it. I can either take 3 months, 6 months and learn the Texas market, have all my deals follow through, or I can reach out to someone like Max. He's got a great dispo program. He helps people out all the time selling their properties. And guys, in every state, there's someone just like that. You got a Florida deal? Call Rick. Me and Zach will get it moved for you. You got a deal in Texas? Call Max. I got people in Virginia. I got people in North Carolina. I got people in South Carolina. Why? Because JV is the power of using other people to leverage your business. I'm great at generating leads. I get bored with dispo. I'm not going to lie to you. I think dispo's, it's important, but it's boring to me. And so I like to do a deal, and I just split my deals with everybody. I don't care. Oh, yeah. And you people who call me and Zach for, we'll offer you 20% commission. I go, dude, I don't get out of bed for 20%. I do get out of bed, but I don't do it for 20%. So we have to understand. Next one. One of the biggest ones you guys are overlooking is simple. X leads lead distribution. What do I mean by that? It's real simple. You have to understand that even if you go out and get a basic X leads account, you get 25,000 leads. Let's be brutally honest. Most of you are not utilizing the 25,000 leads. And if you understand that, why don't you go ahead and leverage it so you can get more deals, specifically with JVs? What do I mean by this? If you're only going to use 10,000 of your leads, think about this for a second. If you only use 10,000, what are you going to do with the other 15,000? You're just going to throw them away? Remember, your timer resets every month. So it's kind of a use them or lose them. In the old days, we used to have to save all our leads for 6 months to a year because they were really expensive. You had to pay a la carte for every one of them. So if I have an X leads account and I want to do the lead distribution, why don't you go in Zach Discord? Why don't you go in our free school group? Why don't you go out in these communities and even some of the other great wholesaling communities, even some of the creative financing communities, and find people that want to go out and market for you? Because if you can't utilize all 25,000 and you go to me and Zach and go, oh, I'm doing everything I can to make this work, I'm going to call you to the plate on it. You're not doing everything. It's just, that's your excuse filter. I can't stand when people go, I've tried everything. And you know what I'll do? I go, well, let's take 30 minutes and I want to hear what everything is. And I'm going to take a pen and a paper and I'm just going to write it all down. Why? Because I guarantee in about 3 or 4 sentences, you're going to run out of things. And that don't sound like everything to me. So be careful what you wish for. X lead distribution. How do I do it? Find people, give people 2,000 leads, 3,000, 5,000 leads, and tell them if you get a motivated seller, just give them the script. It's so simple. Find out if they have interest in selling the property and find out what's going on. Why do they need to sell it? And if they forward you that lead, you will partner up with them and they can learn how real estate investing works, specifically wholesaling, without paying money, but they're going to have to pay your dues. Now, here's the crazy part is you're going to have a very low success rate because people are lazy. So start out and just give them 500 leads or 1,000 and see what they do. If they go, I went through a district guy that has that, but if I give someone 500 or 1,000 leads and I never hear back from them, don't give them any more leads. It's not the end of the world. Use them or lose them. Let me ask you this, guys. Are you utilizing your entire count in your basic X leads accounts, 25,000? Don't even get me started on you. If you guys have the pro plan, you get 65,000 leads. And this is basically what I call it. Here's what you guys do. Just call it a learn and earn program. People love it. Guys, this is how I got into wholesaling. If somebody offered me a list and they go, hey, here's this, you can do foreclosure list. There's so many lists inside of X Leads. It doesn't, whatever software you want to use, PropStream or whatever, but for God's sakes, utilize it. Use it. It doesn't cost you anymore, and it is a marketing position for you to get your name out there. I love doing JVs because I can do them all over the country. I can find the lowest hanging fruit. I just need people's help. How do I do that? Through this distribution system. Every day, I got probably a dozen more leads today. I'll work through them when I'm done with this live stream. That's what I do for a living. I love this business. I'm trying to show you guys how you can leverage it yourself. So take your list and go find people that get all excited. They can be young, they can be old. And listen, don't get disappointed when they don't do anything, because it's going to happen. And if you want to get real extreme, you can create a simple YouTube channel, and you can give them the link, and you can give all the training, and you can put PDFs below it to give them the script. Why? Because you're going to smoke through these people over and over again. It's just, you want me to lie to you? I'm just going to tell you the truth. Give me 100 people do this. If I can find 5 that are successful, I'm impressed. So you can simplify it. You can go in X Leads and you can make a simple landing page and create a learn and earn program and filter through these people like water. I don't give them my cell phone number. You have to earn by producing leads for us. And if we get someone under contract, then that's a person that you can talk to. You can even meet with if you want. But remember, you can send these soldiers all over the country to work for you. Stop trying to do everything yourself. I'm telling you guys, there's options. You can easily do it. I'm telling you, it's not that big of a deal. So if we know that, I want you to understand. Let me check questions here. Almost done. So if you guys want to hop on a one-on-one, I got some room for a few of you. Okay, I'm just looking at everybody's. Awesome. So if you have a question, do me a favor, make sure you put it in the questions, and I promise you I'm going to go through as many. But I don't know. Charles saying, does anyone think this guy looks like Stephen Hawking? So I'd have to look up a picture when he's younger. I don't know. Whatever. I guess everybody looks like somebody, right? Okay, let's keep going here. Today, we're talking about ways to get outside of cold calling. The reason why I got the Batman background, by the way, when I was a little kid, I used to watch the actual Batman and Robin when they were actual human beings. I thought it was a little disturbing when I was a kid. I never understood Robin, why he just constantly wanted to stay in Batman's shadow. And I think I go, one day, dude, this guy's going to break. So if you go back, you guys can probably find on YouTube the old original. It was in the 70s. It's kind of funny. I love the history of Batman. I think it's actually pretty cool. I see more Batman tattoos than anything else. I think it's kind of cool. I feel like what we do in wholesaling, it's kind of like a Batman terminology. Do you guys agree? So, yeah, I haven't even followed any of the prequels and all that stuff because I got so confused with Star Wars, the prequels. A person with ADHD, especially as a child, I'm like, I'm confused. How can this be before the actual series? And I think I lost it after the third one. So it was funny. Maybe you guys can give me a little bit of education on it. But Batman's been around a long time. That's why I kind of think it's kind of history. And then his relationship with the Joker, I think, is pretty wild too. Okay, let's keep going because I'll keep talking about this stuff. So guys, here's an option. Now I'm going to put an option up here, and I'm going to tell you, I don't recommend this as a beginner, but it's a viable option. And it's direct mail. Why do I say it? Guys, I've been doing direct mail for 20 years. I've never stopped doing it. Why? Because it works. Does it cost money? Yes. Does it take experience? Yes. Does it take wisdom and knowledge? Absolutely. Here's the secrets to direct mail. It is not a shortcut. And most of the time, if you don't know how to talk to a seller and you take the direct mail option, you have some funds to do it, you're going to get nervous when you go to call the seller, and most of you are going to freeze. Now, if you're okay talking to people and you want to go this route, you can. But it's going to be a little nerve-wracking in the beginning because you need 3 months of nonstop action of doing direct mail. What do I mean? If you commit to 90 days, you should be able to profit from it. Most people want to send out 500 pieces and get 5 deals. That's not realistic. Honestly, a lot of times you have to send up to 7 to 10,000 mail pieces just to get a deal or two. Now, don't panic about that. On average, most people spend around 4 to 8 grand a month on direct mail, depending on what level you're doing. Why is that significant? It is a big investment. Don't get me wrong, but I want you to understand there's some incredible advantages. There's 3 major advantages. Number 1, these leads are exclusive to you. Yes, they get other pieces of mail, but a lot of people, when they start out, they don't do direct mail because of the cost barrier and the confusion of it. Number 2, the leads are calling you. Do you know how nice that is? We're talking about doing a show where you don't do cold calling. So what better way than to have them call me? I love that part of direct mail. And number 3, I want you to understand this. It's 100% legal. You guys hear it? I believe by the middle towards the end of 2026, direct mail will be a predominant lead source. In fact, did you know that of all wholesale leads that are produced in the United States, and this accounts for most of the people that do full-time wholesaling, do legitimate big operations. I know people do 50, 70, 100 contracts a month. They have big teams. You know what their predominant source to generate leads on scale? Direct mail. And here's the cool part. If you're a single operator, you can easily handle up to 7 to 10,000 pieces yourself. It's never been easier to click a button, but you got to have a strategy and you got to have patience. So if you plan on spending 4 grand, maybe 5 grand a month on direct mail, don't do tiny little batches. They don't work. You can't send out 100 and expect anything. You're going to have to get super lucky. You have to have a large enough sample size, and you're going to have one great list. This is all stuff I teach, which I love. But when you do it, say you're going to spend $4,000 a month, you need to set $12,000 aside. If you don't, you'll never do it, because you're going to send out your first campaign and go, "I didn't work out so," and you're going to freak out and you're going to quit. I'm going to teach you how to turn a cost into an investment, because most of you look at it with the wrong set of glasses. Once you get really good at wholesaling, you look at an investment. The question is, what's an investment? We make investments based on what? The return of your investment. So if I put $10,000 in something, I want to get back X amount. So if I want to get a 25% return, I'd get $2,500 back plus my capital, $12,500. Here's the problem is I'm looking at stuff like this. Where is it? I'm going to put it on the comments that I saw. Let's see it here. Where is it? So here's the problem with this. I'm going to put this up there, and I appreciate his comment. There are a lot of sites to buy leads from. Dude, the word lots, there's thousands. And here's the problem with that is, if you don't understand the fundamentals of wholesale, especially understanding marketing is your number 1 skill set, it doesn't mean you don't outsource it. But if you don't understand it and someone goes, "Oh, I can get you leads, they're $12 or $100, you go like, "Oh, great. That sounds great," because they want $4,000 a month for direct mail marketing. Well, let me ask you, what if you go 3 months and you spend 20 grand and you don't get a deal? Do you feel like you got duped? Because that's the problem with these alternate sites. Nobody will give you a return on investment. So here's what I want to do. I want to tell you direct mail. And by the way, I'm planting the seed. So when you get a couple deals on your pipeline, I believe everybody should have some source of direct mail. If you look at any franchise home buyers, the hard blood of what they do is direct mail. Look at anyone who trains a team. I guarantee they're using direct mail. I guarantee they'll provide you a vendor for direct mail. See, it never stops. Does everybody understand that? It's not sexy. It's not pretty. It's legal. It's exclusive, and it's extremely scalable. On average, when you get direct mail up and running, you should expect a 5 to 6 times return on your investment. Let me give you an example. If you put 4 grand into it, when you start out, I usually shoot for a 2 times return. So the idea is turn what? 4 grand into 8 grand, right? Now, if I get a 3 times return, maybe I spend 5 grand, I turn 5 grand into 15 grand, and so on until you get to that 5 or 6 times return. Guys, Anything that I can make an investment and get a solid return on, that's great. My problem with PPL, PPC is nobody can ever tell me what the return on investment is. I have to get lucky to make it work. And I don't know about you, but lucky is not a strategy you want to try in wholesaling, because most of the time he or she that derives the lead, the marketing effort, PPL, PPC, whatever it is, advertising company, they're usually going to benefit the most with the least amount of risk. So when you're going to evaluate when buying leads, especially when you don't do cold calling, ask yourself, what is the return on the investment? If you can't find it, it means it doesn't exist. It's bull. That's like say, hey, I want to go to Vegas. I want to play the slots. Have you ever asked a dealer, go, hey, what's the return on investment on if I pull the slot? They're just going to look at you like, what are you, nuts? It's the same thing you're doing with PPL, PPC. I'm not saying they don't work, but if 100 people have to pull that slot thing and only there's 3 winners, 97% of the people are not going to be happy. And the whole premise is just to have a few winners to entice the marketing to keep everybody coming back. Because Vegas, let me ask you this. Let's be brutally honest right here. Vegas is perfectly fine paying millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars out in payout. Mark can attest to this, right? There is a reason they do it, because they know in the end they have the favor. Okay? It's kind of like if Indiana keeps playing Miami day in and day out, if they played 10 games, they would probably win at least 6 out of 10, right? I'm just saying it like it is. My team lost. It is what it is. But I'm okay because I'm very happy where they went. So if I know they're going to play 10 games and I'm going to get beat 6 out of times, if I had to bet on that, that is what you call a return on investment. But here's the problem. What if I go to the casino manager and go, listen, I got $100 or I got $1,000. I want to play the slots. What's my return on investment going to be? They're going to BS you the entire time. So if PPL had such a great return, you would already see the numbers. You don't. They need fresh blood coming in every day. And to be honest with you, the leads are oversold. They're usually outdated. They come from overseas, and they're usually old cold call leads. And you will never get an MP3 file, none of that stuff. Why? Because it is what it is. And by the way, when you do that, you are under the full umbrella of TCPA violations. And I'm not a lawyer, but I can tell you, if you benefit from the lead, you can also get sued on the lead. And that's the challenge. Derive your own leads. You can minimize your risks when you do it. So we have to understand how that works and doing it. So guys, I have plenty of freebies at thefreewholesaling.com. If you're an M2M, we actually teach it in detail. There is a strategy with direct mail, and I strongly advise using it. Just don't do it solo and pound off of that. So I'm going to go quickly because I want to hop on some of these lives because I promised I would do. Reverse driving for dollars. Here's what I do. These are the lists I would use with reverse driving for dollars. Tax delinquency, code violations, pre-foreclosures. You put a sticky note on the door. We've been over this 1,000 times. If you want to learn how to do it, go over to freewholesaling.com. I put it up here in the comments. Let's see here. Now, I just want to talk to you about some stuff maybe you haven't quite, wrong one. You guys know most of the techniques I teach on here. I teach the fundamentals. Why? Because they never go away. But I'm going to teach you about a little bit of a strategy if you don't want to do cold calling. Say you don't want to do that direct mail. I've already given you the precursor on it, but I love that it's legal. I love doing stuff like this, guys. And I don't talk about this a lot, but I just want to spread through it. I call it dirty deeds. Now, it's get your mind out of the gutter. It's nothing like that. These are properties that have such screwed up title issues, nobody can figure it out. And what did I always say in wholesaling? What are the fundamentals of wholesaling? The bigger the problem I can solve, the more money you will make. So why don't we just go out and find the biggest problems? Rick, where are you going with this? Number one, how do you find dirty deeds? Most of the dirtiest deeds I ever find are related to probate. There's always a question. There's not a will. There's an error, one's out, one's being difficult, one won't close. That's crazy. The next one, the crazy heirs. These are the people benefiting that just run roadblocks, say they won't sign a contract, or they need $1 million more than the other 3 sisters. They're absolutely nuts. I've dealt with some crazy divorces where one party won't agree with the other one, and it gets nuts. Now, these are my least favorite because I've been through a bad divorce as a child. I think they're traumatic. I like ones that children aren't involved but there's sometimes where the man or the woman's driven so nuts, they just want to get their name off that deed. And there is opportunity to do it. I'm not here to take advantage of people, but if you want something, I'm going to see if I can do it. Foreclosures all the time. People just like, I just want done with this deal. What if 3 people are on title and 2 of the people are done and one just doesn't want to give up? There's a way to get around that. I'm just telling you. Now, these aren't your average deals, guys, but these deals have 50 to 150K in every one of them because people just get frustrated with the properties. Life catches up to them. My other favorite one, any type of tax delinquency or liens usually is going to draw out these people. So if you take your tax delinquency list, which you only got to pull it once a year, and I guarantee you're going to find your biggest problem with tax delinquency every time. And if you do a little thing I call list stacking, like major, and you can use AI, use X leads and do all this stuff, find somebody with a tax delinquency, a foreclosure, and a messed up probate, and I'll show you how to make 100K off every deal. Now, you're going to have to get someone experienced like myself because you're going to need legal help. You're going to need wisdom. But here's the cool part. If you have a deal, you find somebody in this situation and you go, hey, Rick, I just want to partner up in JV with you. Not only will I walk it through you and show you the entire process with me and my team, is you can walk away with 50 grand. Now, 50 grand is a lot better than a couple grand, which a lot of JVs wind up being. And I'm just telling you, if you want to do JVs, you want to find the biggest problems. Bring me anything that ties up with a probate with a screwed up title. I'll show you how to make a fortune. It's just true, guys. And one of my favorite one is deceased owners and heirs. It is a higher level of digging deep, getting into genealogy and stuff. But for the right deal, in the right market, under the right situations, sometimes they take 6 to 12 months to get down. I'm fine with it because they're 100% legal. There's a way to do it. You have to have experience with it. You have to have a team behind you, and you have to have like legal experts, usually having lawyers on how to write documents and how to force people's hands. But this is a little technique we call dirty deeds. And why? Because they're out there. So I'm giving you guys right now, if you want to do a JV opportunity, you want to work myself or Zach or really anybody else in any other market, why not find a deal that's got 100 grand in it and split it? I would be ecstatic to do that with you guys. And you could submit your deals with us. You can come on a live stream. We can talk about it. They are my favorite deals to do. And the fundamentals of wholesaling is find the biggest problems. Let me ask you, do you think you're going to find the biggest problem by calling somebody off a PPL lead? No. And honestly, they're not going to be very motivated. And I want you to understand that is we have to find big problems. And the bigger the problems we can, the more money we can make. So, and guys, I love the marketing. Brandon's got it. He's in school. He's marketing on it. And by the way, he's got it right. Land flipping is great. I love it. There's very little information on the values of lands. If you can find the buyers and you can match up, you can make a ton of money. So he's got the right idea with it. So where can we submit deals to you? I'm going to be releasing that publicly here shortly because we are looking for more like the dirty deeds type of deal. Why? Because there's nothing better than paying somebody 50 grand. And remember, think about this. If I'm willing to pay you 50 grand, I'm proving my point that marketing is the #1 skill set. You never even have to talk to the seller. Just point me in the direction and get me a phone number or a contact, and we can make money together. I'm all about making the smaller deals, but I like to make the monster deals, man. That's how I really increase my net worth. And how life-changing it would be if I could give you a $50,000 check by giving an introduction, showing you how we do the deal. Meanwhile, you guys are all out there paying 5, 10 grand for courses that really aren't getting you anywhere and pushing the needle. And I don't know, but 2025, I saw a mass exodus of people going, I'm not going to wholesale anymore. Dude, I've been wholesaling 24 years. It ain't going anywhere. Don't let anybody feed you differently. So, but guys, I'm telling you right there, you think I'm kidding? Most of my 6-figure deals pretty much come with probate with another problem mixed up into it. So take the hint here. Do a little deal stacking. Use X Leads account. You can do the whole thing. And you can easily find these deals. Remember, the bigger the problem means It means nobody else can figure out how to do it. And by the way, they've probably been through 50 wholesalers. And this is the best way. Honestly, this is the best way that you can make a ton of money. And guys, if you're working a full-time job or something, just find the people with the biggest problems. Do you know some of my best deals have come from like the local bar scene? Why? Because bartenders get to hear people drown their sorrow. I'm in foreclosure. My husband left me. And listen, I help out anybody. You got to be willing to talk to me. The bigger the problem, we can do it. But let's do this. I said we jump on and talk to some people. Let's talk to some people. And let's start out with Benjamin. Benjamin, you there? Benjamin.
Hello.
Hey, man. How you doing? Benjamin, you there? Benjamin.
Yes, speaking.
How you doing, man?
Is this
Benjamin, you there?
hello?
Okay. I can't go through hellos like 3 or 4 times. So if you want to get back on, I'll cue you back up. All right. There he is. There you are, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. What's going on, man? What can I help you out with?
Is this so this is broadcasted fully live with everyone?
Yeah. You okay with that?
Is there any way I can contact you separately for a few questions or not really?
No. I'm being honest with you. If I did that, I would get nothing done all day. I would get nothing done all day. So
Yeah.
I'm right here. So if you want to ask a question, it's up to you.
I left my questions in
Okay. So I appreciate you, Benjamin, but like let's just be efficient with our time. So Benjamin, come back on. I'll be back on Thursday if you want to ask the question. Jamie, you there? James. Uh-oh. Okay. James going once, going twice. Okay. So guys, I love talking to you guys, but like I can't, like I don't want to sit there 5 minutes and try to figure out what you need to do. So if you come on, just be prepared. I'm here for you. So I'm going to come back on Thursday with Zach. I really want to set up in the beginning so we can talk to more people and help out as many people as we possibly can. So what I'd like you guys to do is make sure you go over to freewholesaling.com. I put it right there on the bottom and get the fundamentals of wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you guys, if you don't want a cold call, it's perfectly fine. But not cold calling is not an excuse for you not to put in the work. It is the complete freaking opposite. So, okay, I got room for one more here. Let me pop this up here. Moise, is he there?
Yes, how you doing, Rick? Can you hear me?
How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Where you calling
Thank you.
from?
I'm from New York. Zach knows me. I've been around for a little bit.
What's the temperature there today?
Oh my God, it's terrible. It's like in the teens, man. I mean, it's literally painful, man.
Yeah, we just warmed up to 65, and I thought I was like gonna die. When you see me wearing this, it ain't good. And full disclosure, I have the heater going on here at the office. It's embarrassing, but
Yeah, no,
I can't tell you, Florida, man. Like when I can't wear flip flops, it's bad. So
it's painful, Rick. I promise you. Like it's dangerous. It's all icy on the floor. It's
I talked
crazy.
to some of my partners in Ohio today, and one in Pennsylvania. They're like, dude, they got like heated blankets. I'm like, man, that's tough stuff to do, man. So
So I thank you for your time. I'm trying to do the challenge, and I couldn't get enough probates, basically. Like Zach has the 30-day challenge where we pull like at least 100 probates. I'm wondering if I could go back to like the beginning of the year, because some of those might still have like lingering problems, and then like maybe combine 1 or 2 counties, because there's just not enough to do 100.
So how are you pulling them?
X leads,
So just find additional counties. Are you just doing it local?
Sorry.
You do it locally or nationally?
Oh no, no. I'm trying to do like locally. I just tried pulling Missouri right now,
Uh-huh.
and you know, there was only a few there, like
Yeah.
maybe 17 or whatever it was. So I try to combine like Greene County and Jackson County, which is where Kansas City is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even still, like, so what happens is that for the past month, there's still not enough. So I had to like go back to like maybe the beginning of the year, like mid-April, to even get close to 100.
So let me give you a couple of suggestions. That the problem is if you go back too far in probates, you're the last guy to the table, and unless everything's asked out on them, in my
Yeah.
experience, usually waste a lot of time with it. The problem with probates is only so many people die. We wish it was zero, but we know the reality of it. And just some counties don't have a lot. Do you know, like during COVID, I had to go 7 months without even getting a probate lead. Apparently, nobody died during COVID. But the 2 years after, like we doubled our lead count. So, yeah, the problem with probates is you're under the direct control of the government because it is a court filing. One of the reasons we created X leads so you could do it nationwide. Don't get me wrong, it's more of a pain in the butt because it's hard to find like the PR in like every county, every state. But there's ways where you can just generically market to them. So how are you reaching out to them?
Calling.
Yeah. So that's an effective strategy. Calling, sending a letter. I don't like texting. It just does not work in probate. It does not get received well. But there's only so much volume in probate. So unless you do the national strategy where you just go big,
Yeah.
like grab 50 counties and like then you got a list of like 5,000. The problem is you're not in control. It's up to the probate filings. And I don't control that. Zach doesn't control it. You don't. You can only take the leads derived to you. I don't like going back in time. I just don't find it very effective. When I first did probates, I thought it was cute. I went back and did the last year. I never got a deal out of the old ones. Like honestly,
Okay.
a lot of work, a lot of drama. I find fresh leads, you have a shot. And then people go, "Oh, just calling the obituaries." I go, there is a time where you call too soon too.
Yeah.
Now there is value in tracking the obituaries. Don't get me wrong, but you got to be skilled in how you're going to deliver that message. Because if you call someone, because obituaries come out fast, not everyone does an obituary, by the way, and it's a pain in the butt. In the perfect world, if you could give me every file on a death certificate and match that up with multiple pain points, foreclosure, tax delinquency, something like that, it's the absolute best list you can do. You got to have some advanced strategies. That's where me and Zach do a lot of partnerships to solve bigger problems. But how nice is it when you give somebody like a $50,000 check to, hey, I have a probate. There's no will. There's 3 heirs. One of the heirs is very difficult. The other 2 want to get rid of it. And the one guy just needs money right now. I can solve that problem in 30 days. It's not
Yeah.
pretty, but I guarantee it's going to make a crap load of money. And so I'm patient. I've been in this business 24 years. I don't care. Some of you guys are just keep trying to run that sprint and you got to run the marathon. So don't go back in time on the probate. It's not going to work for you.
Okay. So instead,
Go
I'll just hop around counties.
you think you're going to have success in and you get the freshest leads within 30 days. That's the best way to do not go back to April. I won't let you do it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. That's what I was wondering. I guess I'm just gonna hop around
Don't
counties until I
experiment. I
start.
did that for 2.5 years. It never worked. And I did a
Yeah.
lot, thousands and thousands. I'm just like, it doesn't work. Don't chase the heirs down. That doesn't work either. Those are the guaranteed things I can tell you about probate. I've done a lot.
So is it okay if I just hop around from county to county until I
Yeah.
get that 100? Yeah.
And like, so if you want to get numbers, go to Houston. The place is huge. So yeah, and you can derive how many leads. You can go around and use your X leads account and find which ones have the most. And you get a screenshot. It'll tell you how many probate leads are. They'll tell you how many vacant homes, and you could go out and survey a market. You got more tools now than I honestly. I had to guess when I did this, guys. I had to like take other people's information and go, okay, it looks like he's having success here. Now you can look at data and actually point it in the right direction. But guys, probate inherently, the problem is there's only so many, but you already know they're the juiciest lead. So if you can get a filing, it's phenomenal.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate
Okay.
you.
Just don't go back in time, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I am going to be on Thursday. And if you hang out, it's too heavy. I have something we want to show you that we got awarded with. We're going to save it for Thursday. Show you what's in this box. It's really cool. And we owe it all to you guys for sticking through us, doing this in the long run. We got some exciting information. We're going to reel with this. We're going to show you why we're the top in the country in wholesaling, why we like to guys give you information and help you out as much as possible. Make sure you go over to freewholesaling.com. I put it right here on the bottom. You can pop in there. And guys, as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor. Make sure you're subscribed. For God's sakes, click the subscribe button. Hit that like button. It is a compliment to me and Zach. And honestly, it is the reward we get for working with you guys. Being on the air with you guys is just a privilege. I enjoy doing it. Honestly, I don't get paid directly. I get paid indirectly through the deals we do. And honestly, I get more joy out of helping people. I'm an empath. It's what I do. It's who I am. It's why my son is my son and why we connect with you. So guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join me Thursday. I'll be back on here with Zach at 5 o'clock. And we got some fun stuff. Guys, go out and get your wholesale deals. Let's go. You don't have to cold call anymore. I give you plenty of options. Let's go.